Hi, Bob.
Hey, Zax.
So, we took a little break, and we're back at it again with Reefed Out,
Mm-hmm.
and today we're covering episode 6, Trolled.
It's just called Trolled?
Trolled.
Trolled.
And I mean, we're gonna get into everything that happens, but...
Let's jump right into it.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. So it starts with this takes place, it's another British episode, and it takes place at a choir school. We meet the choir is performing, which is kind of interesting because at a choir school, I don't know if there are multiple choirs because students are watching the choir perform.
I hadn't considered that. Like, are there students there who aren't part of the choir?
Yeah, which maybe.
And if there are, then I don't know why it's called a choir school. And if there aren't, I don't know why the choir's so small.
Yeah, because it could be the sort of thing where maybe it's. Well,
I don't know. Really... This might be a thing that we're just not familiar with.
Yeah, okay. Let me finish one thought and then start the next one that gave me. Little brain.
Eventually we'll get to the plot.
Well, they set up a universe in these things, and they don't really, and they just expect me to roll with them, and I'm not gonna let them.
Mm-hmm.
I will not just roll.
Yeah, preach.
Okay, but it could be the sort of thing where there are multiple choir groups. This is the junior choir, this is the big choir. But it's also weird because our lead character, we meet our three main kids of this episode. One's the real lead, and then his two best friends, I guess. His name is... Oh God, I know. Okay, why is it I can always remember
the side
his
characters,
best friend
but not the main character?
Yes, because unless this time was intentional, because he's in love with this girl Nini, and his best friend / roommate.
Her name is Nani.
Nani?
Naini. Nani.
Oh my gosh. Okay, you know who Nini is? She's the star of High School Musical, the series. Mm-hmm. Okay. Sorry, everybody. I watch a lot of that content, and it's all falling together into one pot.
On the Steel Donut, I have that issue sometimes. Everything kind of merges together in my mind.
Okay. So, yeah, his best friends' names are Nani and Sam.
No, Sam is the main character. Fitzy is his friend.
His friend is Fitzy?
His friend is Fitzy.
Okay. I guess that fits a bit. Okay, so her lead character's name is Sam.
Yes.
His love interest / friend is named Nani, and his roomie / bestie is named Fitzy.
Yes.
Okay. Great.
I know that because I pulled it up on the wiki on the right here.
Oh.
I didn't just remember.
Okay. You felt that Sam was...
I did remember that Fitzy was the best friend's name, but I didn't remember that his name was Sam.
Okay. So, during the performance, Fitzy sort of, he punches the air, and it's kind of
he's not punching the air, he's imitating the chest bursters from Alien. He's wearing a robe, and he sticks his fist out of his robe like a chest burster.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, which is why... after the performance, he does this up on stage while they're performing. After the performance, his dad jokes, Fitzy's dad jokes you guys did really well up there, but I didn't think that they allowed people who are pregnant with alien chest bursters or something, right? He says something like that.
Yeah, he's not.
Then they're joking about it, and the two of them, father and son, are having a ball.
They love what they are putting on the table.
Yeah, they think this is the height of comedy.
Yeah, and it's also funny because Sam's mom is thoroughly unamused with them.
Yeah, she's alright. She's like whatever.
Oh,
While
it
they
is.
were all chatting, they're all doing
Mhm.
their jokes or whatever. A girl runs out of the room crying,
Oh, okay, yeah.
and
I
this is
thought
like
this.
this is the first time we see the main villain of the episode, or this is the first time we
Right.
hear of the main villain of the episode, which is
Oh,
um
yes.
No Face, the
Hmm.
an online troll, which is why this
Yeah.
is an episode called Trolled. By the way, we skipped over the thing with the curious at the beginning. It was just some message about anonymity. It doesn't matter. Um,
Oh, yeah.
but so No Face, so the someone's like, "Why is she crying?" And then the conversation moves in that direction, and the headmaster of the school says, "It was probably No Face, that dastardly troll. He's the scourge of this school." And it's
Oh, yeah.
like,
Okay. Yeah.
okay,
Before you. Yeah. Okay. So, girl runs out crying. One, it's weird that they're like surprised because apparently this is like a regular occurrence at this
yeah,
school.
well enough
Like,
known that everybody knows who No Face is. You can just say it's probably that fool No Face, and everyone goes, "Oh, No Face, yeah."
yeah. All right. But again, the who just said it, the scourge of the school.
Yeah, he literally uses the phrase "the scourge of the school."
And he's such a headmaster. Like, if you watch any of those Academy movies, like I feel like the people out there who know what I'm talking about, like if they saw this, they would be like, "Oh yeah, I totally get what she's on about." He's such a headmaster. It's insane.
Mm.
But so like props to casting, I don't know. But next thing, if you are the headmaster and there is a scourge going through your school, shouldn't you do a little bit more than like sort of wag your fist like, oh,
I'll get you next time.
like, can you do a little
You
bit
wily
more?
fox, sending my students home crying. Like, maybe protect your students, dog.
Like, I mean, like put something in action. Maybe go after that girl
I
at
mean,
least.
right now at this point in the
She's-
episode, we don't know what No Face's form is, how he trolls people. But as we discover, he's an online troll, and we'll discover that it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense how or why he's doing this.
Yeah. So
Well,
okay. Yeah.
why he's doing it kind of makes sense, but how he's doing it is pretty preposterous.
Yeah. And
Anyways, so they have gift bags, goodie bags, whatever that their parents gave them.
Oh yeah.
And it's got like treats and lunch and whatever. And they're like, "All right, you guys want to go to Zuko's for pizza?"
Which
Eh,
also another thing. I'm sorry. Do they get gift bags every performance? Because we see
They
like, within the
mentioned getting gift bags every performance.
but like as we see, they have performances like every 3 days.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
how...
the girl even says, "I still have a bunch left over from last time."
Okay, so
Which is why she offers it to Sam, who says, "No thanks, I'm good." Because he doesn't have one. Which I guess is supposed to be because his mom can't afford to get it. It doesn't really matter. Either way, they say, "Let's go to Zuka's for pizza," and eagle-eared... It's a weird thing to say, I don't know why I said it. Conscientious viewers of the show, either Creeped Out or our show,
yeah.
will know that Zuko's was mentioned in another episode, Kindlesticks, Card in the Corner.
Yeah.
And this is actually, according to the wiki, because, this is kind of skipping ahead to what we usually cover at the end of the videos. This Trolled is actually the third episode of Creeped Out in the first season, like in the original order, not in the Netflix order, obviously, but in the original order, this is the first mention of Zuko's. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
So there we are.
Okay,
Zuko's,
so
the pizza chain that is sometimes high class and sometimes got accounts, and sometimes it's just like some teenagers going to get a slice of pizza
in another country.
Everyone's welcome.
They flew out.
It's like if Pizza Hut went to the UK and became a fine dining restaurant.
Yeah, well, I guess
Because
the thing too is
apparently
like,
in the two countries, in the UK, it's this casual pizza place. In the US, it is somehow managed to be both a casual pizza place and a high dining Italian place.
yeah, the only thing I would say that was weird about using both places, because like I don't, with an anthology show, like I understand you can like build a universe, blah blah blah.
Yeah, you were
But
asking about that when we were watching the show. When we were
yeah,
watching the episode.
I don't know like if like cuz like we're goofing on the show and we're dunking on it or whatever. But like if you're like a kid and you're a real fan, so much was going on. I don't think you would really remember the name of the pizza place,
And that's why
especially.
I don't think they are trying to world build. I think they just think that's like a cute little wink wink nudge nudge thing, but like I don't know what the joke is.
Well, I guess I'm saying I don't even know how you could wink, wink, nudge, nudge about it, because, like, in the episode's Kindle Sticks, which apparently didn't even air yet, or
Yeah.
was, um, unless
No.
when you see that one, you're gonna be like, oh, but this one, nobody really makes a
Or
big deal
Marty,
about it,
which is mentioned. Marty's the episode after this one.
right?
So
I don't know. It just, I mean, I guess we're kind of going in a weird circle. It just, you're not going to remember any of these little details. One, because you have 30 minutes to remember a whole new set of people in their situation and what's going on and the lore that they're trying to build. You're not going to care about where they got pizza.
yeah, I mean, like, look, they're either world building or they think it's cute, and it's not cute. It's not. It's not cute. It's just boring. It's not an interesting thing to attempt. So like, I don't care. But then also, on the other hand, it seems like they might be trying to build a world because the curious is a thing that appears all over the world.
I guess
doing things. So maybe it is supposed to be one continuous world where we're seeing snapshots all over the place. I don't know. We really need to hit this plot though. So they're like, "Hey, you want to go to Zuko's?" And he's like, "Nah, I'm good. I'm gonna go home."
Yeah.
And he goes back to his room. He's a boarding school, and he goes back to his room, and he gets on the school's online forum.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you've ever used a forum, but usually they require you to have an email address associated with it. And if it's a school's online forum, I would assume that you would be required to use your real student name, your real name, and also your student ID, because what would be the point of creating a a school's online forum? I don't know what the point is anyways, but what would be the point of having a school online forum that is officially sanctioned by the school, but does not have any kind of check to see if you are actually associated with the school in any way? Because like randos shouldn't be able to connect to this forum and get on, but apparently our main character Sam is the troll no face. Uh-oh. Whoa, our main character protagonist is actually the villain? Oh. Okay.
Well, okay. But like before we go into like that, we have to talk about like how wrong it is. Like, okay. This is like an old school, very traditional. Maybe like making a school forum was a completely new thing, right? That they were like,
and they have no idea how cybersecurity works at all.
Which seems weird because like bare minimum, it should be you need to like enter your student ID just so that like you protect your students from creepers. But I mean, chances of some like 40-year-old creeping into this one school forum, is unlikely and maybe wouldn't even cross your mind. Now, though, a few minutes ago, we saw a girl running down the hall crying. So now you have a problem because...
Yeah, you have discovered a flaw in your system. Now it is your responsibility as a school administrator, as a system administrator, as like the IT guy, the person who runs the forums, whoever it is. Now you have a responsibility to solve the problem you've just discovered.
Because, I mean, I don't know how, like, I don't know anything about, like, programming or setting up a forum or any of that. So I don't know how difficult it would be to change the whole interface.
You know what? It's actually really easy. In middle school, I started a forum and ran a forum.
Okay, so if you wanted to like,
it's super easy, and it was really easy to like.
I guess to like
set up the It wasn't even security. It was just like requirements for having an account, and there are like little check boxes in the like forum builder website that I was using, and that was just like, check off the things that you want them to have to do. Oh, you want them to have to verify with a real email? Check. There. Now it's done. You want them to have to associate it with a mobile number? Check. You want to associate it with a database that you already have? That's a thing you can do. You just check the box, you link them the database, and you're done.
Yeah, so I'm thinking either make a new forum thing, or at the very least send an email around like to all like the users on it or whatever, somehow like we're new policy starting effective today, or like a week, however long you need to give people to like do it, because that like you can't count on all the students to be on it every day, but like enter in your student ID, otherwise in 30 days your account will be deleted. Sorry for any inconvenience. And then
I mean, yeah, you could do that. Or if you wanted to do this like a surgical strike on No Face, the online troll, here's what you do. Delete his account. Done. Just delete his account. Just delete his account. And it's like, oh, but what if he makes another one? Block his IP address. Then what's he gonna do?
I mean, it can't be that easy.
It's really that easy. I mean, if you look at his IP address, you can figure out what router he's connecting to. They can't have one router for the whole school. So he's connecting, we see him using his laptop, Wi-Fi. So we know he's connecting via some router to the internet. So we can just follow to that router and then go, okay, which computer is assigned this IP address? Oh, it's that kid's computer? He's No Face. I mean, honestly, it instantly whittles it down to two suspects. The kid who owns the laptop, the kid who lives in the room with the kid who owns the laptop.
No.
Like, it really wouldn't be hard to track this kid down.
Oh my gosh. Okay, well, you know what I just discovered? Apparently, like, I am very, like, not techie.
No, you're not.
And so I guess, and like, you saw, like, all the solutions I came up with that are...
Your solutions would have been fine, too.
But, like, I guess the thing is that I'm, like, thinking...
Like, I mean, here's the thing, though. I'm kind of a techie person. You're not a techie person. We both came up with several reasonable solutions.
So the
moral of the story is someone in the show, like someone in the universe of the show, should have, could have, would have had the ability to stop this.
Yeah.
And they just don't.
So the problem with this headmaster now is that he's like, scourge of the school. But you could do literally, apparently, anything. You could even
you could do anything. Right now he's doing nothing about it. But he also could do almost anything that seems reasonable in this situation. It's very easy to police a forum.
Yeah. So
I mean, like, how about you just delete his account, delete his posts when he posts them, have a moderator?
Yeah.
Just one. It's a single school. It's a selective school.
Yeah. I think what would also be, like, I think this episode does a lot of, like, this is kind of, like, the same feeling I have.
How about let's just race through the plot right now, and we'll come back. We'll circle back on stuff.
I mean, I was ready to move along anyway, so we're good.
Okay. Because we're 20 minutes in.
I was just looking at.
We're about 5 seconds into the episode.
I think we're a little further than that. Okay, but
like 15 seconds.
Okay, not a whole lot happens in this episode, but like so much happens, and it's kind of crazy, and it's kind of like Marty in that.
Okay. So, anyway, so Sam's standing there.
Hold on.
No, you were about to talk about that night, and we missed something.
Oh, right, okay. So
Sam is standing there, and they're like out of the little choir recital thing, and he comments on Nani's hair. She's wearing braids now, French braids. And she says, "Oh, somebody noticed," and kind of gives like a little knowing look at Fitzy. And it's clear that Fitzy and Nani are kind of like, although Sam likes Nani, Fitzy and Nani are kind of hitting it off already. And Fitzy's like, "I noticed. I didn't say anything, but I noticed." And she's like, okay. And she kind of has a little wry smile, and he has kind of a wry smile. And it's like, oh, okay, cute. There's some chemistry there.
I know I keep stalling,
and so
but can I just say that, like, honestly, Nani and Fitzy were really adorable to me.
Yeah, I mean, the two actors were actually pretty good.
I think they had really good chemistry, which is, like, something none of these episodes have so far.
The acting in this episode isn't horrible. Like, I think, honestly, the acting in this episode is pretty decent all around. Yeah. The main guy is, I think, a better singer than an actor, but he's still decent. Yeah. Anyways, so Sam complimented Nani's hairstyle, her new hairstyle. When he gets back to his room and it's revealed he's No-Face, he's sitting there on the school's online forum. And he writes he creates a Photoshop.
I'm so sorry. I just need to mention something real quick. One sentence, and then just don't even acknowledge it. Just keep going back to your sentence. When he watches them leave sadly, but he's so sad that when he walks back in, the janitor holds open the door for him, and he doesn't even say thank you. Which I was like, I'm glad they really took. Whoa. Yeah, I'm glad they took the time to let us know like how sad he is that he couldn't even say thank you to the janitor.
Yeah, and the janitor even has like a little bit of a look on his face like, this kid.
Like
and I'm like, okay.
So anyway, back to that night. He's mean.
So he's doing his No-Face thing. He's working on a Photoshop, and all he's doing is he's taking he's got a picture which looks like probably an acting headshot of the girl. Cause she looks great in that picture. It's a very, very flattering photo of her. She looks very cute. Her hair looks nice. And the colors are all popping in the photo. It looks professionally done. And she's got like sunglasses on top of her head. And her hair isn't in French braids in this photograph that he's editing. Her hair is kind of frizzy and out there, but it looks nice. Yeah. And then he takes the sunglasses and adds the same sunglasses to a picture of a llama with frizzy hair in a similar sort of way. And he writes, what exactly does he write? He says something she thinks with her new haircut, she's
like, Nani looks like Nani's got a new haircut, and she thinks she's not part of the herd.
Yeah. But like, this meme / diss / bullying would make a lot more sense if she changed her hair from French braids to this kind of frizzy look. Because the diss is, she thinks she's so fancy with her new haircut, or her new hairstyle. She doesn't realize that she's she's part of the herd being
just like everybody else.
Animals, but like, she doesn't have the hairstyle associated with that animal anymore.
But I don't even think it's
like if I said like let's swap out some of these elements of this, and you'll see what my problem is. If you wanted to make fun of me for wearing a pink shirt, and you said pink shirts look bad, it would have a lot less punch if I never wore a pink shirt again before you posted that.
Like, yeah, you start...
Like, if I'd already changed shirts, and you started criticizing the pink shirt I used to wear, that doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, okay. I didn't, when you mentioned it,
I
didn't get it.
He's criticizing the hair she doesn't have anymore.
Well, I guess, but isn't that part, like, that's how she used to be, and she changed it, but she's still part of the herd?
And that would make sense if he had a picture of her with the new hairstyle that made her look like an animal of some kind.
So he should have had the old picture.
She's not still part of the herd. Because the thing you're saying she looks like that makes her part of the herd no longer applies.
Yeah, she changed it.
She changed that.
I guess being part of...
Like, your diss makes no sense. Either way, he posts the picture with the sunglasses on the llama next to her, like a side-by-side thing, and the message on the forum. And immediately, people are just blowing up his post. They're just like, oh my god, No Face is at it again. And, like, some people are like, No Face, you're a villain. I hate you. And other people are like, dang, son, that's a hot burn. And, like, I don't know why these kids are so fire all over. Like, they were all sitting at their computers in deathly silence, waiting for a ding when they see that No Face is posted. And they have to rush to their keyboards to type their hot take about how great a meme he just posted.
It's also weird too, like, because it's definitely established later that he stays up late, and instead of like sleeping,
all the kids are up late waiting for him.
Yeah, instead of like working on his sleeping before his responsibilities or whatever, he's staying up late doing No Face stuff. Okay, so the next thing that happens is he's like talking to people in the forum, and he's like, also, Fitzy is such a phony. He's like, everybody thinks he's so great, but he
asked Nani out on a bet, right? Wasn't that it?
Yeah, he made a bet that he could get Nani to go out with him or something like that. Then here's what's so weird.
So he starts spreading this rumor. It's not true. Fitzy genuinely has chemistry with Nani, but that he's making.
I mean, and I guess, and realistically, we don't really know either way, because like it looks like they're already going out, so it's like maybe. But the thing is, this whole school needs to have like a meeting to just figure out like what is our stance on No Face, because
because like every time we've seen them in public so far, we've only seen them talk once about No Face in public. But one girl runs out of the room crying, and everybody else just shakes their head like, "Oh, No Face. When I get my hands on him, he'll have hell to pay." Like, everybody seems mad at him. And on the forum, half the comments are like, "No Face, you scoundrel!" And the other half are like, just like, they're like either laughing or they seem to be indignant and believing No Face.
Yeah. And
like he's a valuable source of information for them.
Yeah, and like it's kind of interesting because like Gossip Girl kind of has like the same approach like with Gossip Girl, but it's different because one, everything she says is proven like immediately to be true. So she's mean and she's like ruining people's lives, but it is
accurate. You have a reason to believe her.
But and, like, even if we take that, like, he just seems to say whatever he wants and nobody facts checks.
Yeah, like, spur of the moment he thinks of something and everybody goes, my God, it's true.
But
and it's like, no, he didn't prove it at all.
It's also weird that, like, No Face has any power left because he's been at this for a while. But, like, we see this girl run out and everyone feels sorry for her. It's not like they could have made it, like, because in real life.
I mean, if I saw someone.
Because, like, it could be split like they want it to be, because that does happen in real life. But, like, if when we saw her walking out, if they, like, panned over to this group of kids who were, like, holding a phone and be like, loser, or whatever, then we...
And maybe even got scolded by someone or something.
Like, something. But if everybody feels bad for her...
Yeah, who's gonna take... Yeah, like, I mean, if you don't like No Face, take away his power... by like I mean, obviously the school is run by incompetence, so they don't know how to take away his power, but the students, like, if I don't like No Face, I'm not going to engage with him because that's clearly what he wants.
Yeah, like, if we all
like the only reason anyone ever posts things online is because they want it to be engaged with.
Yeah, even
nobody has ever posted something on a public space online and then thought, I hope no one sees this.
Yeah, like, if they don't want to
I guess unless they didn't know.
Yeah, we gave a lot of flack to, like, the headmaster and the school board for not doing anything about No Face.
But now it's the students' turn. They really need to shave up.
Yeah, like, you know what I'd do if someone was mean to me online? I'd block them.
Yeah.
I mean, but, like...
Which you can do on a forum, too.
Yeah, you could easily, like, block them. But whatever.
Or report them to moderators. Oh wait, there's no moderators, and there's no rules.
Yeah. So
yeah, and I mean, like, you can't, like, if you're like, if you have a reputation as a person who is 99% of the time fine, but also like 1% of the time you say something that like hurts people's feelings, you'll still have friends. But if your reputation is, I mean, anytime I speak, no one will like you, because even if people do like you initially, you will eventually insult somebody they care about.
yeah.
You know, like, if you're firing insults in all directions, you're gonna hate everybody.
Yeah. So, okay, so that's what he did.
Like, you'd have to be the most shut out person to not be affected in any way by his scattershot approach to trolling.
Right, yeah. So
anyways,
then,
after he says these rumors about Fitzy, and he posts this insulting thing about Nani's hair, he gets a message from a user called Billy Goat 356. And he's got a demonic goat head as his avatar. And to that I say, who let him on the website? Who let... Like...
What? Okay.
How come they're... Okay, why is there a private messaging system built into this forum for the school? This seems like a huge legal oversight. Because, like, okay, let's imagine No Face doesn't exist, right? Mm-hmm. If you and I are both students at the school, and I decide I'm going to bully you, and I use the school's online forum to private message you, and I say mean things about you, and you hurt yourself as a result, which is a thing that happens, right? Yeah. Like, we all know this happens in real life. The school would be so at fault. Yeah. They'd be so legally liable.
Yeah, no.
And you know what you do to prevent that from happening? There's a little checkbox that says allow users to DM each other, and you just uncheck it.
Yeah.
You just uncheck that, and it's gone.
Yeah, I mean... Because,
like, if I text you insults, that's one thing. That has nothing to do with the school.
Yeah, it's not like they could, like, sue Verizon or something.
But you, by running an online service, you are implicitly suggesting that you have a responsibility to govern it in some way, to supervise it in some way.
Okay, this is a dumb thing, but, like, I kind of thought it was cute. Okay, so the headmaster is, like, aware of the forum. He's aware of No Face. Anytime No Face posted, I think it'd be so cute if the headmaster was like, No Face, you coward, come to my office.
But he doesn't.
So there's just like always a post, like
the first post is
the
like
first comment.
Come see me in my office.
Every time.
Yeah, I'm in my office. I'm at lunch right now, but come see me in my office.
It's like he has all these comments from all these other kids. Okay, so what does Billy Goat tell him?
So Billy Goat says, "That's not very nice. Do it again and pay the price."
Ooh.
And it's like, ooh. For some reason, the computer reads it out to him. Which is like,
and it's like this weird digital voice. So I don't know if
it's actually like it's clearly an actor reading the line, and then they add like digital effects on it instead of it being like a computerized Microsoft Sam voice. But I don't know why they like. I can read.
Yeah, I can. I mean, I guess some people think it's boring, but it also works later to give us the voice because they want us like. Once he's away from the...
They want us to be spoofed.
Yeah, but also, like, later he's away from the computer and he hears the voice in his head. So I don't know if he imagined the voice or, like, if he attached, like, an audio file. Like, by the way, I'm reading this to you right now. Like, or I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be nice.
I don't know how the mechanics of that work because we don't really see any other DMs or whatever. And it's not...
That's true.
So I don't know if, like, what that was. Okay, so next day at school... And the three not the three amigos. Sam runs into Nani and she's sad. And he's like, oh no, why are you so sad? And then she's like, look at what No Face did to me. And he's like, no, your hair is beautiful. He's wrong. That No Face, he doesn't know anything. And then she...
Yeah, and see, it's like, he's like, oh, he's playing both sides, right? He's trying to be the carrot and the stick. Come over here, I'm a nice guy, but on the back end, he's also the guy scaring her and terrorizing her with his irrelevant memes. I don't know.
Yeah. So then she's like, naturally, I'm more upset about this. And then she's upset about like the whole Fitzy rumor. And he's like,
the rumor that he's only dating her for as a bet.
And then he's like, oh, well.
Which, by the way, good on her for being more upset about that.
Yeah. Which I get, but that also goes back to why he's a bad troll. Because, like...
he's just bad at his intended job, yeah.
Because, like, she even says, like, well, at least I look like the front end of this llama. No Face looks like the back end, I'm sure. So, like, she literally is nonplussed by it. Like, I know that one...
Yeah, she takes it on the chin and throws a punch back, and I'm like, all right.
Like, because, like, which is, like, fair because, like, two boys are interested in this girl, so, like, obviously she's an appealing as a person, but it's just, like, what are you trying to do, No Face? Because she's not bothered. You could have just written the rumor about Fitzy and ruined her day. Because, like, it's also weird, too, like, it's weird that it's a school forum. Like, I know, like, kids get bullied like on Facebook or whatever, but that still feels like a wider space somehow. It's just weird that like, okay, so midnight last night, everyone was talking about my new hair and how I look like a llama or used to look like a llama, and now I'm going to walk past you in the lockers and nobody's going to like say anything about it. Because it's not like with most high school movies with this sort of thing, do you like, as someone walk by, be like, llama nanny or something dumb like that. But people are we see tons of people walking by. No one even looks at her and snickers. Like, he did nothing. He just added a notification to her phone. It seems like. So.
It's like one of those things where, like, oh, I got a notification on my phone. Let me see. Oh, it's an email I don't care about? Quick delete.
Yeah. So then he's like, I forget, what does he say? He offers to talk to him for her or something?
Yeah, something like that.
And then I think she's like, I just want to, but then she's, again, stand-up gal. She's like, no, I think I'm going to talk to him because it's not fair if it's like just rumors that are like.
Yeah, like, I think we should talk.
Yeah.
And it's like, good on you.
And that's like what normal people do. Like,
yeah.
Because, yeah, No Face, he lies or whatever, and it's like, hey, look, No Face posted this. This isn't true, right? Like, oh my god, that's crazy. I mean, I can't.
Oh, yeah, she says, like, have you heard about any of this? And he says, no, I've never heard that. And it's like, yep.
I don't know, but, like, I guess if Sam was like, I don't know if you can really look. So he gets called to the office, and she's like, oh, well, I guess I gotta go. He goes to the office, and then his mom is already there yelling at the headmaster. He's like, look.
Well, the headmaster is yelling at his mom.
Well, it's a heated argument between them both because he's like, look, your tuition is late. She's like, I'm sorry, I'll get it to you next month. He's like, that's what you said last month. Can you afford to go to this school? And she's like,
yeah, can you afford to send your son to the school? He shouts at the mom with the door open and the son sitting outside. And I'm like,
I don't know why he was called over yet. It didn't seem like they were ready for him, honestly. But
I chimed in. Haven't you people ever heard of closing the door?
Like,
did you like that?
No.
Okay, I wasn't sure you would, and I thought you might not, and I decided to go for it, and I regretted it immediately.
Getting all this out.
I thought I'd come clean.
Okay, so we're
but it was appropriate. It made sense in the situation.
Okay, so then like. She's like, no.
She's like, I can't afford to pay this stuff. And then he sees a poster, and it's for some scholarship. I don't remember what the scholarship, Rise something.
Yeah, but basically the thing is, like,
it's a scholarship for the best performance in the choir.
Which is weird, because how do you even, like, it's a choir school, which just brings me back to that, but I'm gonna keep going. So he, like, runs in with the paper he ripped from the wall, and he's
like, wait,
Mom.
No, with this, we could afford to. They would pay for the school, and it would be great. And the principal says, You can't do that. That's for
tenors. You're a baritone.
A tenor, and you're a baritone. And he goes, I can do it. Just give me a chance. If I can do it, then I'll get the scholarship, and we'll be able to pay for it. And the guy says, okay, but the recital's in like 2 days. And I'm like, didn't you just have a recital? But
time for more gift bags.
Like what was the last recital? Was that a practice recital?
Because like your parents attended, you performed for people.
Everybody attended. Yeah, everybody dressed up for it.
One thing I will say though that kind of makes sense is that we saw Sam's mom and Fitzy's dad sitting next to each other during the recital, and she was just like watching attentively, like a good mother should, and Fitzy was like, Dad was just like, I'm asleep. This is boring. Oh, yeah. So I guess that would solidify.
If it happens so frequently,
solidifies that it is a regular thing.
Yeah. So the headmaster, whose name I don't recall at all, he says like, if you can do it, then you can do it. Then fine, you'll get the scholarship. You'll be fine. Goodbye. You may leave my office. Right. And they leave the office, and the kid, looks at his mom, and he says, I'm not leaving this school. And he walks away all determinedly. And I'm like, it's not for you to decide.
All right.
That's just
try your best, kid. We'll see.
Try your best, but you might leave this school.
I just like not gonna.
Yeah, I will not leave this school.
I'm gonna live on the roof.
Yeah, like I'll sneak into my classes.
Okay, so
and so then he's like really mad at the headmaster, and he creates like a picture.
Oh yeah,
of the headmaster's face on a baby, with like a little oh my gosh, what is it called? The thing that kids suck, a pacifier. And it's like, what is this? Your meme game is terrible.
Yeah, he needs to go back to
It's horrible. And he calls him Mr. Her Baby or something, which is I think supposed to be a pun on the character's name, but I don't know the character's name, so how am I supposed to what?
Yeah. But then okay, so then what's his face? Oh, right. So then Bill...
So he posts that on the forum.
Then he gets a notification from Billy Goat Gruff in his voice and is like, I told you not to do that. Do it again and pay the price. Do it again and pay the price.
Do it again and pay the price. Do it again and pay the price. It's like, he says it over and over.
Like, we're seeing the posts again, and I'm just like... And then he puts...
And I'm gonna circle back to this, that he says it several times, because it's like... It's very spooky, right? The evil or dark, scary message. Do it again and pay the price over and over. And he finally gets scared and he closes the chat window or something.
Right.
But not before he gets a message. It's an image of like an old cave troll and some text in a mysterious language. It's Norwegian.
Yeah.
We looked it up.
Yeah.
But
so
he sees some text in Norwegian, and he's like, what the heck is this? Oh well, I'm gonna go to bed and pretend none of this ever happened. Close laptop, scene transition. Now it's the morning, and he walks past the mirror, and he's like, wait a minute, what am I seeing? In the mirror, he's got a unibrow now. Uh-oh. What could this possibly mean? And he goes, oh, geez. And he starts I think he shaves the unibrow, right?
Yeah. Well, he starts plucking it, and somehow
he gets all of it.
Impeccably fast, because, we were under the impression he was running late at first. And,
Well, Zax, have you ever plucked your eyebrows?
Yeah.
Okay, do you use, a pair of tweezers?
I have, yeah. Okay,
so here's the thing. He's got 2 arms. Mm-hmm. So he's using a pair of tweezers in each hand, twice as fast.
But, one thing that's weird is, we see... This is such a nitpick, but as somebody who has plucked their eyebrows before, and it hurts so much, which is why I, don't really do it.
It hurts a lot, yeah.
He takes, the 2 longest hairs, and he plucks them out in one shot. He doesn't even wince. And I'm just suspension of disbelief blown, movie or show.
This was the moment when in the show you said, hang on, not everything in this show is perfectly done.
Yeah. This is when I was like, you know what? This has been a stellar
I'm starting to think this isn't a documentary.
Yes.
Is that that was your reaction?
This was the line. This is when I was like, you know what? I'm taking a star away from my review on Yelp of this. Yeah.
Yeah, this is going down to 1.5 stars.
Yeah.
Out of 10.
Yeah. Okay, because of the eyebrows. Okay, so
because of the eyebrows.
So he goes to rehearsal, and the headmaster's like, "All right, late kid, let's see what you got." And he sings.
He opens his mouth and he sings really well. He sings the solo very, very well.
Yeah,
I don't know if it was ADR. Well, it seems like it might be ADR. Yeah. But I don't know if it was ADR, the actor singing it, or someone else singing it. Either way, whoever sang it did an excellent job.
I get the feeling it was the actor singing, because I don't know why this show would cast 2 people. Because it's not like, I mean, not being mean, because like I think the kid did a good job, but like,
well, yeah, just for budgetary concerns.
Yeah, just for budgetary concerns, and
you know, like if you've got somebody who's a singer actor, you know, you could just cast them to do both, and the voice will sound proper. Like,
yeah, because like, I mean, they did that like with High School Musical. They not recast, but like they really love Zac Efron. They were like, you just have the look. You are Troy Bolton, but the songs are for a tenor, so they got like another guy to sing those songs. And then moving forward in the other movies, they made songs with his voice in mind. But this, I don't
like.
If
you don't have the budget for it, and also the other thing is,
he's not like. The acting was really good in this episode, but he wasn't that great. So I don't see like the casting being like, this kid, we need to do whatever we can to put this kid
to make sure he gets on screen.
I just yeah.
And also he's it's a lot harder to ADR for a different person's mouth movements.
And
even for a song, it's much more difficult to ADR that than for your own, because you know your own timing, you know your own body language better than you know other
and it
people's.
syncs up pretty well, I think. So
yeah, it syncs up pretty well. It might actually not even be ADR.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I couldn't really tell. Anyway
so he sings really beautifully, and then afterwards his feet are getting kind of like sore,
and he sort of hobbles
so like
a bit.
he pulls off his shoes, and his feet have gotten like swollen, and his toenails are turning
greenish black, kind of.
Greenish black, yeah, like his feet are turning into troll feet. Oh my gosh, when is this episode gonna twists and turns?
Yeah, so then like and then he goes like to lunch with Naney. Oh wait, we forgot a little thing that happened in the middle. I forget where exactly this happened. But like he doesn't care that he was cursed or whatever. He trolls the headmaster.
Oh yeah, he's cursed. That was the whole point.
But he also trolled Naney one more time, because he was like, Naney is like hates Fitzy. I forget what he said exactly, but he said something like that.
Yeah, something about Naney is annoyed with Fitzy and is spreading the rumors about Fitzy and the bet.
Yeah.
In order to give herself an excuse to like break it off with him. But then it's like, but you were the one who was spreading the rumors, so so doesn't that just make you a bad source of information?
Yeah, doesn't that just mean that Naney came to me, and then Naney would be like, I don't know who No Face is. And I mean,
if I said that, yeah. Like if I say, Zach's told me the sky is green. Or no, there are rumors that the sky is green. Mm-hmm. And then later I say, Zax is spreading rumors that the sky is green, even though she doesn't believe it and the sky isn't green. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Then that just makes me the idiot.
Yeah. So then, okay, so now back to where we were, and Sam and Naney are having lunch together, and he's like, oh, how'd things go with Fitzy? And she's like, oh, well, he blew me off. He said I've been horrible to him, and he won't talk to me anymore. And then he's like, oh, do you want me to talk to him? And she's like, no, it's okay, like, I'll do this.
No, I want to give him, she seems like maybe when things have blown over a little bit.
Like, she'll just try again or something, yeah.
She'll try again, and it'll get back. Things will go back to normal. And I'm like, look at you, girl.
Yeah.
Being reasonable. That's great. Yeah. I love to see that in characters, you know? Where they're just like, they don't blow up on each other. They're just like, you know what? Yeah. Sometimes people get mad and they say things they don't mean, and
Oh,
you don't take it personally. You just let it roll off, and you work with what you've got, and you just move
yeah.
forward. And I'm like, cool,
Honestly, and
great, proud
the
of
same
you.
goes for Fitzy too, because he's like a silly boy or whatever, but like, like a little bit earlier, like around the same time.
He's kind of a doofus.
Yeah, but a little bit earlier, like he was like yelling at Sam, like venting about like No Face. He's like, I didn't start any bet about Nanny. That coward No Face. He thinks he's so like he kind of got like he got mad at who he should be mad at, but like he never.
Right. He doesn't get mad at Nanny. He gets mad at No Face. And then the other thing is he also when Sam comes back to his room, I don't know how Fitzy heard about this. Maybe because the principal was shouting this at his mom through an open door. Huh? But Fitzy is apparently aware that Sam's mother is having trouble paying for the school. And he says, but you didn't tell me that you were potentially leaving the school.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, like, you're my best bud. I don't want that to happen.
Right.
Like, that's real. Like, that sucks, man. And he's, like, trying to be a good friend to Sam, and Sam's like, I don't want to talk about it. It doesn't even matter because I'm going to get the scholarship tomorrow night or whatever, so it doesn't matter. And Fitzy is just like, well, if you insist. And I'm like, look at that. You're also being pretty cool. You're being pretty cool about this.
And, like, honestly, like, that, with just how they handle things, I think that they would be upset, and maybe they wouldn't be as close as they are right now. But, like, I think he could have confessed to them that he was No Face, and it would have just been, like, a mild fight. Especially because, like...
I don't know about that.
Let me explain my reasoning. Because his reasoning for being No Face is because he's, like... He doesn't have enough money. Like, the reason we know now, because after the meeting with the headmaster, that the reason he didn't join them to Zuko's is the same reason he didn't have a gift bag of his own after the recital.
Yeah, he doesn't have the money.
He can't afford it. So it's like, I've been a real jerk to you guys. I was just so, like, mean, this
kind of speaks to Zax and I had a conversation about my history bullying people, because at times in my life, I have been a bully, and I'm not proud of that behavior, and I won't go into detail, but it kind of, in my case, starts from a place of feeling powerless, and I think it's not a huge stretch to say that for a lot of bullies, this is the case. It starts from a place of feeling powerless, and then seeking a sense of control over something else, of someone else, because it feels like the rest of the world kind of just pushes you around, makes you feel bad, so you want to make someone else feel bad, so that you feel like you have that degree of control over. If you don't have degree of control over how you feel, you can have the degree of control over how someone else feels. It's not a mature way to handle it. It's obviously not it's not behavior I'm proud of, but that was kind of where I came from, and I can see they tried to write Sam's character to be like that. And I think, to be perfectly frank, I think they basically succeeded.
Yeah, I think they did a good job.
In creating, it doesn't really make him a sympathetic bully, but it makes him an understandable bully rather than like just a caricature who's like, I like to be mean because being mean is fun. Right. And it's like, that's not a thing.
Yeah,
the people who actually feel that way, the people who just like to inflict pain, they kill cats in their backyard. They don't just bully people online.
Yeah.
Like, they're they're like, I don't want to say crazy people, but they grow up to be serial killers. Like, that's the kind of, like, if they're just there to inflict pain.
Else, yeah.
And nothing else.
I think, Yeah, and I think they did do a good job. And I think that they did...
I'm not an expert, by the way. Obviously, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, this whole thing is our opinion. But I think they did a really good job in this episode because everybody feels very real. It's not just like a bunch of caricatures thrown in a situation.
Until the very end, that is true. Yeah,
I'd say. But at this point,
and we'll explain why it gets a little bit weird at the very end. But...
So now he's going. So they're wrapping up lunch.
So he's talking to her, and she quite reasonably says like, "No, I'll just give it some time to blow over, and then we'll talk." And then his stomach starts to hurt, and he feels it, and the camera pans down, and he's got kind of a round belly. He's a little round belly, and he grabs he touches his stomach. He's like, oh, that feels really bad, and then his hand kind of like becomes this like weird,
it's
like swollen hand thing, and he kind of pukes up a little bit of something, and right then she looks away, so she doesn't even see him puke anything up, and he goes, oh, I'm feeling bad, I have to go, I'm sorry,
allergies,
and then he just like runs away. Allergies, yeah. And I'm like, your allergies suck, dog.
I mean,
and she just like doesn't check on him, she doesn't like, and that's like, I guess a little bit callous, but whatever.
yeah, I guess she's just like, oh, okay. I guess, although, like, to be fair, it is high school and you're pretty self-involved in high school, and she's got that whole thing going on with Fitzy, so, like, whatever. They never really even confirm if she knows what's going on, like, what's at stake with his, like, enrollment, because they don't talk about it at all.
Yeah, I guess they never confirmed that either.
Runs home.
So he runs back to his room, and
so
on the way, like, when he gets back to his room and looks in the mirror, he realizes... Oh, on the way, I guess, he does this weird thing with his nose.
Oh, yeah, okay, so it looks like he's about to sneeze, almost, like, he's changing, like, his hair's longer, unibrow is back, both hands, his shoes, like,
his feet and hands are really, like large and
shoes are busted,
deformed.
his shoes, like, his feet have grown out of the shoes, he's busted.
His postures, he's turning into a cave troll.
So he looks like he's about to sneeze, and he, like, sort of, like, crunches his face and like sort of throws his face out, and then his nose is fully trolled out.
Yeah, and it's like a little CG effect, and it doesn't look awful. It doesn't look great. I think the worst part of it is that the director didn't have him like what they mean to do is that his nose suddenly grows large, and as a result his face is carried forward by sudden momentum. But that's not what his acting implies, because I guess the director and the actor had different visions of what was supposed to be on screen or something, because the actor kind of leans his head back and then juts his head forward, and that's when they have the CG nose kind of sprout, and it makes it look like he's using the momentum of shaking his head to make his nose bigger.
It's weird, because it's supposed to be like it's just...
It looks very strange.
Yeah, it's supposed to be like it's just happening on its own, but it looks like he, like, does it to himself.
He made it happen.
So, whatever.
But yeah, he's transformed.
So
he gets back to his room and he's transformed.
Yeah, and he's like, oh my gosh, I'm a monster. So he goes on his line and he messages Billy Goat, and he's like, hey.
He actually looks up the curse. He looks up the message that was sent to him in Norwegian. I don't know why that's and he finds that it's a curse that says that his innermost troll will become his outermost.
Right.
And it's like, oh, okay, so his inner troll, outer troll, yada yada, whatever. Anyways, he messages Billy Goat 356.
And so then he's like, how do I go back to normal, basically? And then there's two...
Yeah, how do I undo the curse?
There's two ways. Okay, so either option A is he stays in until sunset, or B, he just lets everybody...
No.
Hold on.
He has to hide until sunrise.
It's at sunset.
No. He has to hide through the whole night.
Oh, okay. Cause like
the reason that's important is because you could theoretically, well, it doesn't really matter that much.
I saw sunset though at one point in the thing.
No, he's supposed to hide until sunrise. He's supposed to wait, because I remember thinking during that, like, okay, so where is he going to hide? Because like he can't hide in his room. Yeah. Because his roommate lives
in the
there.
School bathroom, just in a stall or something. But anyway, okay, so...
But people use the bathroom.
All right, he's got two choices. But no one will see him if he's in a stall. Anyway, option one is you hide until sunrise and you'll wake up normal again, basically. Option two, let everybody know you're no-face right now and I'll zap you back. And he's like, okay.
Well, not even right now. Just announce to the whole school that you're no-face and the curse is broken.
So then
and if he refuses to do either, he'll remain a troll until he dies.
So I don't really... And then, okay, so then, like, he's locked the door because he's like, no one can look at me. His best friend goes to check on him. And he's like, hey, mate, like, what's going on? Whatever, you're going to be late. Don't be late. So then he goes... this is kind of happens really fast, so I'm just going to kind of chug through. So basically, he goes to the performance, and the headmaster's like, hey, kid, you're late. And he's like, I'm sorry.
Hold on. hold on. He's wearing robes.
Yeah, he's
that cover his face.
Yeah,
and
he's
stuff.
totally cloaked.
Yeah.
And the headmaster's like, what is all this? He's like, I'm just nervous. I'm sorry. He's like, all right, whatever. Go out there before you miss your solo. I think because he's sang beautifully and because he's poor and all that stuff, the headmaster, like, isn't actually, like, a jerk or whatever. He's like, okay, fine.
And also, like, there's no time. Like, there's no time because apparently they've already started singing. And I'm like, you are late. What do you mean don't be late? He's late.
I think
They began.
I think that don't be late, like, like when they, like, lead you in or whatever, it's like, don't be late for your cue, basically.
Yeah, but I mean, like, if you're going to do a solo, I would think that you'd already be on stage, or at the very least be ready to go, because they've started the song. So, like, what were they going to do? Get to his solo and then just stand in silence for 30 seconds? Like, yeah, like, and they were just going to, like, tap their foot and just go, like, they sit in silence for a few seconds, and then one of them goes, this would be the part where Sam would do the solo, but he's not here, so, I guess let's just continue from where after. Okay, 3, 2, 1, and then they just continue from there. Like, what are they supposed to do?
Okay, so then I think they have it in place. Like, I'm under the assumption, I don't know why I get the vibe from the show that I think Fitzy would have just signed, if he didn't make it. Anyway, so it's his solo, and he starts singing, and the headmaster is ready to jam because of that angelic voice.
And it sounds beautiful. At first.
But then it's like...
Suddenly his voice, he starts to get a troll voice, and it descends into croaking.
I think he even burps at one point. And so then, and then the headmaster stands up and he says, "Boy, remove your hood." Which, like...
That doesn't...
Why?
It's like, okay, he's clearly screwed, right? And like he stops singing when his voice descends into that. And Fitzy's like, "Hey, bud, you all right?" And he says, "Oh yeah, I'll be okay. Just give me a second." And like, he's clearly like, obviously, like, everything's falling apart.
Yeah.
His terrible plan.
And then, so then he removes the hood.
Is there.
And everyone is like, this abomination of a boy. His mom is kind of like shook, like, what happened to my son? And like, we all know it's him. It's not like some...
And he's wearing like all these prosthetics that give him like a puffy troll face. And to me, all I can think is like, y'all are so rude.
I think it's
like, I mean, first of all, his mom recognizes him. The other students recognize him. But what about all those other parents? Like, how do they not know that there's just an ugly student?
I didn't think about that.
What if there's just yeah, sure, he's not a looker, but that doesn't mean he's a bad person. That doesn't mean you should gasp and take pictures with your iPhone. Don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
But then also, everybody's like gasping and stuff, and like, the prosthetics on his face kind of just make it look like he's like
just got a huge
having hives and like really bad allergies.
Yeah.
And like,
actually, yeah.
And honestly, I could totally understand like if the teacher was like, "Oh my gosh, wow, you need to probably go to the hospital." And he goes, "But I didn't want to miss the thing." And then the teacher goes like, "No, really, like the thing can wait. Like we'll just put it off. You need to go to the hospital. This is far more important." And then like, assuming like if he was actually like affected by allergies, that would be a very reasonable thing that might happen.
Yeah.
Student thinks, "I really need to do this." Then he goes up there, and like then they send him to the hospital. He gets an EpiPen. He's fine, and then they do the performance later. Like that all could quite reasonably happen.
Especially since these parents already like take every night off of work to come to this,
to go to these recitals. So like he could just do it next recital, but like.
So then...
Instead, everybody gawks at him like a bunch of jerks.
No one is... But, because, like, either way, like, the onlookers are rude, but, like, the people who know him, his mom, his two friends, his teacher, none of these people are, like, rushing to help in some way.
Yeah, they're all staring at him like,
okay,
yuck.
But in the midst of
And I'm like, rude.
Very. In the midst of all that, we hear the voice. I don't know if it's just in his head or if the whole school can hear it because people are still like sort of reacting and looking around. So it's really hard to tell.
It's really unclear.
But it's the Billy Goat voice again saying like, "Do it now. Clear your name and I'll make you normal. Like right now. Just tell everybody your no face." And I'm like, and so this is interesting because, again, like cat food, this is one of the ones where we have like very clear consequences laid out for us, right? But I'm thinking, like, we already told you, like, what the choices were. He sort of narrowed it down himself by not hiding out in his room all night. So I don't really see why you feel this is still a negotiation. Look like a troll forever, become a scientific marvel of the world, I guess. Or B, tell everybody, and your mom will, I don't know. I guess you'll get...
Your mom will be disappointed. Your friends, worst case scenario, will disown you. They're not going to murder you.
But you also can't afford to go to this school anymore, so you can get some new friends anyway.
Yeah, you're going to need to get new friends anyways. Also, I'm seeing on the wiki here that it says that he believes he has found a loophole that he can sing while completely concealed by robes, thus staying hidden. So, like, hiding until sunrise.
Yeah, because the curse.
And so, but like, I don't know if I heard that.
Well,
I didn't hear that in the episode.
The Billy Goat, he did say like trolls must hide. They like it. I forget the wording.
Right. I get the hiding part. I'm saying I don't know if that was if he had that reasoning that it's a loophole that he could stay concealed by robes.
I don't know why you would want to take a gamble on a loophole when it's something that could affect your life forever. But
I agree. But my point is, I think it's. Will you listen?
I'm trying to. You never let me finish explaining.
No, you're not. You're not.
I was explaining.
You're
before.
not explaining. You're not giving an answer to what I'm saying.
Second sentence. You just let me get to it. Okay.
Get to it then.
I was about to before you cut me off.
Okay, go.
Anyway, somewhere in there, he said like something about stay out of sight. So I understood that if nobody saw his gross trollness, he's good. The way it was worded, it was kind of weird, but yeah.
I don't think that was what the show was saying. I think you and the wiki writer are reading into it.
But
I think this kid is just an idiot and thought, I have to go. And he was afraid to show his face because he looked ugly. Because that's the only reaction anyone had. Nobody thought, oh, he's a troll. Everyone thought, ugh, gross.
But he definitely seemed to be under the impression that he could still be normal by morning. So how else?
I didn't get that vibe.
Look, okay, hold on. Let me see.
I mean, he never said anything either to himself or
like
anywhere that he understood, like he had a plan for how to get back to normal.
All you have to do is stay out of sight. And by sunrise you were over?
I know what the solutions were. I'm saying the kid does not state in any way that he actually has a plan.
Okay, but people...
I think he's just an idiot, as evidenced by everything else he does in the episode.
Alright, fine. So...
I mean, he's a terrible troll. What's to say he's also not a terrible student? A terrible human?
Okay, fine. Okay, so...
Anyways, so Billy Goat's voice is heard, and he says, "You have to admit to everybody." And he goes, "Oh, I can't," and he runs out of there.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, at this point, why aren't you admitting? Because like, you need to turn back into a human.
Yeah.
You've clearly screwed up everything, but like Billy Goat does not need to give you this last chance. He's being extremely generous, giving you one more chance to undo the curse. And he doesn't. And he runs out into the schoolyard. And by the power of sunlight, because I guess the sun hasn't set yet, the fading sunlight casts on his skin, and then there's kind of a neat effect. The CG in the scene doesn't look terrible. They added CG smoke to his skin, and he turns to stone right there in the schoolyard, and the camera pans around him as this is happening, and I'm like, look at that. I wonder, they probably got good 3D tracking data, because the smoke moves with the camera move quite well, he turns into a statue of himself, his troll version in his clothes still. But it's like, it's in the thumbnail.
Yeah.
And he's looking like, and the camera zooms in to his face, and then when it zooms back out, now we see that the statue is not wearing clothes anymore, which I guess means that they stripped the clothes off the statue. And they're hoisting the statue to the roof of the school, where there are other statues up there. And to that I say, how dare you? Those are not trolls, those are gargoyles.
Here's my thing, though. Okay, so I went to the school to see my son perform, and he turned into a troll?
Hold on, let's roleplay this out. Let's roleplay this out. I'll be the headmaster. You be the mom. So the kid just revealed himself, and then either to a disembodied voice or to nothing, he said, "I can't," and then he runs out of the room. And presumably we all run after him. At least you do.
I run after my son. He is now a troll.
He's a stone creature out there, and let's just say I walked out of there after him. And I go, what a shame.
I'm...
that would make a nice decoration for the room.
Yeah, he's my son, so
He's good for something. Maybe this will pay off your debts.
I'm suing you.
No, you're not. You simply aren't.
I'm suing you, and I'm taking my stone son.
According to the episode of the show we're in, no, you're not. I'm just going to strip the clothes from your stone son and put him on the roof of my building.
Okay, but now...
And everyone will act like nothing happened.
Next question, though.
Goodbye. Goodbye.
Okay.
And scene.
Question, though. Okay, are we... Remember earlier we were like, maybe this site needs moderators? Is this the school's moderators?
How? What? Explain.
So, if you're out of line, if you don't follow the forum guidelines, we're gonna curse you somehow.
That's where the other statues
That's
came
what I'm
from.
wondering, because there are other statues up there. And we find out that obviously the person behind the account was that janitor you might have forgotten I mentioned, who held the door open for him one time. And
yeah, because the camera pans over to him, and he's like bagging up some trash, and the camera zooms in on his staff ID, and it says, Bill Goat, employee 356.
So
and I'm like,
and so he works for the school, and he's like, look, I'm gonna get...
So he's the moderator.
Yeah, he's the moderator, and if he... So...
He's some kind of crazy witch man who turns students to stone. By the way, we see Fitzy and Nanny, and they're now like happy and walking together, and it's like, oh, look, there's peace on Earth now that No Face is gone. And they're walking together, and they're like, man, did you hear what happened to Sam? I heard he moved to another school. And I'm like, did you not see the statue in the school? Like, we know the statue is real. We just watched it get raised up on the roof.
But nobody said, like...
And everybody saw his face.
Also, while we're talking about Sam, like, he moved to another school, man, I hope they cleared up that awful face-eating disease he got, or whatever that was.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Something about...
They don't even mention the horrible condition he was in right before he disappeared from their lives.
So it's like part of the curse, maybe, that, like, it wipes everybody's brain?
Well, they walk away, and we get the Curious. And he's doing some dumb crap. I don't know. He's the Curious. And the narrator says, something, you never know who's going to be your Billy Goat. And I say to that, what? Are you telling me that I need to watch what I say online or someone will curse me? Because
Yeah.
what you said was, you never know who's going to be your Billy Goat. What's the real world equivalent of turning someone to stone? Are you saying I'm going to troll people and then a moderator on a forum that I'm trolling will come to my house and kill me?
Yes.
Because, like, that, keep in mind, that's what the janitor did. He killed a child. I get it. The kid wasn't a great kid. He wasn't a keeper.
Right.
But he didn't deserve to die.
Yeah.
And he also didn't deserve to be turned into decorations.
You can't utilize him after you curse.
So like, I don't know, some kind, like, what's going to happen? Is it going to be like, I'm gonna bully someone online, and then someone's going to be my Billy Goat, and they're gonna come to my house and turn me into a Christmas ornament?
Yeah.
I'm gonna turn into like a weird skin bobble or something, and then and the curious will take a picture of me and walk away like a little creepy child, and it's like, oh, woo woo! I don't understand how you can screw up this very basic moral. The moral is like, even though it's tempting to be a real jerk while you're anonymous, don't. Obviously, that's the message. But how do they screw up their moral by adding this thing about you'll never know who'll be your Billy Goat?
I guess here's my thing about like the show. The problem is like they shouldn't have named themselves Creeped Out because they kind of like are like, well, we can't have any like happy endings. We have to leave it either ambiguous or spooky. So because like realistically, after he found out that if he confessed he was No Face, he'd return to normal. I think what should have happened at that like once everybody saw he was ugly, he should have been like, "Look, everybody, I'm No Face," and then he looks normal and he sings the song beautifully. He gets the scholarship, but at the cost of his friends.
No. Even better. I'm No Face, and he gets expelled. Right then and there, he gets expelled. And then he's like, "Well, wait, I can sing." And it's like, it doesn't matter whether you can sing. There's things more important than singing.
Yeah.
And that more important thing is, don't be an a-hole to everybody. So, like, you can leave my school. And, like, the mom is sad. And we go, like, wow, this is a depressing ending for the show. And then his friends are like, I can't believe it was him. And everybody lives much happier, and he lives in poverty. Just abject ruin. And we all go, like, yeesh. And the curious just kind of like puts his hands up and goes, like, I can.
Yeah. You got me. Okay, bye.
I don't know what I'm supposed to say at this point, so
That's
bye.
all, folks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think we did a good.
So, like I said earlier, everyone acts pretty normally until the very end when they decide to turn this horrifying monstrosity that should be sent to the scientific community for investigation. Instead, they decide to turn him into a decoration on the roof. And again, I can't stress this enough. How weird is it that they presumably have somebody puts together that the child that looked like this monster runs out of the building, and now there is a stone statue in the shape of that child wearing his clothes. So presumably somebody took a pair of scissors and started snipping off his clothes, because you're not going to be able to pull it off a stone statue. So they take scissors and snip off all his clothes, and then they just throw it on the roof and throw the clothes away? Weird. Weird.
Yeah.
It's like, it would be like if you found like a dead body, like a desiccated corpse in like a suit they were buried in, and you just went, oh, this will make a great Halloween decoration. You just snipped off all the suit and just threw it up next to your door.
Yeah.
Like, rude. You know that was a corpse, right?
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Well, that about covers this episode. Right. So let's put our rankings up.
Yeah. So, okay. So, until the very end of this episode, it's actually not a terrible episode. There are little bits and pieces of total incompetence, and very bizarre behavior at the very end. But overall, I think this is a decent episode.
Yeah.
Let's see. Trolled.
I'm thinking we should just do our top 3 episodes now because we're getting to have like a lot of episodes. And
okay. Top 3.
And then I think we could do our top 3 and then our like bottom 1, like the worst episode.
Well, I mean, that's probably not going to change much.
So yeah, okay. Then just top 3.
Let me think. List them off for me again. Because I always forget.
Let me just...
Well, here, actually, let me try to list them off. We got Marty. We got Slapstick.
Yeah, I was just thinking instead of we would just, like, which 3...
No, I just want to see if I remember them. Candlesticks. Bravery Badge. And then it's this?
Cat Food then Trolled.
Cat Food. That's the one I'm forgetting. Cat Food. Okay. What do you think? What's your top 3?
I think my top 3 are Trolled, Marty, and Cat Food.
I think as far as it's hard for me to rank them though because like are we ranking them based on how much we actually enjoyed them / would like to show them to other people, or how much they were terrible and made for good content?
I think they are all... I mean, like, I show Marty every time a new person comes into my house. I show them Marty.
No, I mean, like, if you have, like, a child and you want to show, like, oh, this is a children's TV show, let me put something on.
No.
Here's a show that you might like.
We enjoy Creeped Out ironically, and so I've been ranking them, like...
Yeah, so are you ranking them ironically?
I think it's strictly just entertainment, like, however it entertained me, because, like... Candlesticks was a solid episode, but it was also boring to me, so it doesn't make the top 3.
I guess as far as entertainment,
however
then
you enjoy.
Marty, Cat Food, Bravery Badge, actually.
You and your royalty-free rock.
I just love that royalty-free rock!
Yeah.
And it's just, there's a lot of very stupid characters in there, and then as far as actually enjoying an episode, Slapstick's the bottom. I hate that episode.
Yeah.
It brings up so many bad memories of my parents embarrassing me. Or putting me into situations where I embarrass myself.
Yeah.
God, now I'm just having flashbacks to terrible things in my childhood.
Yeah. All right. Well, on that horrifying note, bye, y'all. Oh,
bye.
Sorry.
Wait, what?
Thank you guys so much for listening, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye. Again.
Bye.